What's up? What's up? Another day leveled up. It's your boy, Salem, back with another one for you. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to visualize to truly get what you want. There's a lot of misconception out there about visualization and if it even really works. But I want to get into why it really and truly does and what's the unseen and the behind the scenes factors that go on into visualization when you're doing it correctly and why it is you get what you want. So first off, I want to start with emotion. You have to realize that energy is in motion. That's what emotion is, energy in motion. Every word derived from somewhere. Every word has an origin. Emotions like fear, shame, anger, jealousy, willingness, acceptance, joy, peace, those are all energies you could walk around with. And you could be in motion with all those energies. So you have to be aware what emotion you're tapped into and tuned to each day, because that will be the cause of what comes into your life day to day if you're not aware of the emotional states you're walking around with. You may be coincidentally land up in somebody else's field that's walking around with a different energy, but majority of your days are going to be what you leave the house with, the energy you leave the house with. So make sure you're tuning yourself to a different frequency. So what I like to do is visualize each morning and each night. That's what you want to try to do. I like to do it with music, but when you're doing it at morning and night, that's when you're mostly at ease and you're able to imprint your subconscious mind. That's when you're most at ease. That's when your subconscious mind is more susceptible to suggestion. So you want to do it in the morning and night when you're winding down or waking up, so you don't have too many thoughts going around to throw you off your path. And you could go to bed in a great state and you could wake up in a great state. So I like to do it with music. I sometimes just create a playlist, even if it's the same playlist. I'll switch things up every so often if I get tired or find a new song that really evokes an emotion and imagery in my head. But I set a timer for 15 minutes, and you want to play out the scene in your head. It could be the same exact scene if you want to, if that helps you. I wrote down like my ideal scene. It's me living in a mansion in the hills of Colorado in the mountains, and me waking up to my beautiful wife at the time, and going downstairs. I have my brothers with me. They're staying over. My mom's there cooking breakfast for the family. I go out back. There's a pool. My brothers are wanting me to go in the pool. There's a hot tub as well. Sometimes the scene changes when it's snowy or if it's summertime. And I just enjoy just being around my family. And then I go to my garage and I have like a Tesla and a G-Wagon, a green G-Wagon. I love the color green. And everyone hops in. We go into town, get some food, we just have a good ass time. And I keep that ideal scene just going. It makes me feel great because I envision that house as me being able to invite others that I love and be able to create experiences for them and even hold Thanksgiving and things at my house. And like sort of just a retreat. I could always get away from society and things when I need to. That's my ideal scene I think about when I visualize, and it'll change each day. It just depends on what I really want to get going at that point in time. But that is always the scene in the background. That's the ideal scene, and that's where I want things to get to. That's where I want things to get to. But there's steps. So before I make these videos, I will sit down and visualize it going how I want it to go, and I get into that energy before I even start the videos or even start my days. I like to just step into that energy So I do it till I experience a feeling, until I experience a change in my emotion, in my energy. I don't do it to get something. I'm not doing it to get out of my visualization and hope something is right there. It's not going to happen that way. You want to do it so you're tuning your frequency. You're tuning how you're walking around, the energy you're walking around with. In reality, that's what prayer is. I don't know if you guys know, but like in the ancient civilizations still to this day, and even the Indian civilizations, when they prayed, they didn't pray with a mental state of lack. They prayed that things were already happening in the present moment. If they prayed for rain, they didn't pray in the lack that they had not rain. They prayed and they felt the rain coming down. They felt like their feet muddy from the rain. They would dance for rain, but they were dancing in celebration for rain before the rain even came. So, like ancient civilizations, there's some people that have known to cure cancer while just hovering over people, and it's because they're literally feeling that that person is already healed. They're not praying in that state around that person, acknowledging that the person is ill at that moment. At that moment, they are changing their beliefs, and it's so strong of a belief that if their energy is able to affect that person and cure cancer and things like that, any illness, it's crazy. Our bodies are energetic vehicles, and there's a lot more to us that people don't realize. I encourage you guys to look up the nervous system, a picture of the nervous system. Just type in the human nervous system and on display in a museum, and it literally looks like we are aliens. Like the way that our whole nervous system is mapped out in our bodies, like you're just like, no way, is that us? It's crazy, but it makes me feel good. I love science and things like that, so it keeps me going. But yeah, when you're visualizing, do it out of feeling and not to get. Do it as you already have that you're trying to experience. You want to experience the feeling of you already having what you ideal scene or whatever it is, the relationship or whatever. You want to walk around with the feeling of you already having it. So as you continue to tune yourself, certain doorways will open for you, and because of that, they will open because you're on that frequency. And like you got to realize when you're tuned into that frequency, like who else will those opportunities go to? You are literally shifting into a different reality, and in that reality, those opportunities are going to people on that frequency. So if you're on that frequency, those opportunities will show up for you. Like Einstein said, it's like you match the frequency. Everything is energy. Match the frequency of the reality that you want to experience, and you can't help but get that reality. This is not philosophy, this is physics. It's crazy, but that's what it is. Like ideas will begin to come to you and keep coming to you, and you have to move towards those goals and ideas. It's like the superconscious mind has all these, like the ether is there's always these infinite amount of ideas just floating around that we could tap into. And there's this book I read called Big Magic, and this lady talked about how ideas are almost like spirits, and if they come to you and you don't do anything with that idea will move on to someone else. And that's why people are like, oh, I had that idea to do this or that, and I just never did it. That guy stole my idea. And she believes that if that happens to you, that means you took too much time to act on the idea that came to you and was gifted to you. So you have to act on it before it leaves you. Reality has a delayed effect to it. So no one's going to get instant manifestation, and that's just not how things work. That would just mess up the laws of the universe and the principle of cause and effect. That would go against that principle. And when you're tuning your frequency and you want to be a certain person, that's why I call myself Salem. I want to convince myself that I am this new person. I am no longer the Miles that I grew up with and how I seen myself. I am a new being, and I transcend that reality, and I live a whole new reality. I'm living a whole other world that I could only dream of, and it's getting better and better. But when you're doing this, God and the universe will almost play with you. New experiences will happen for you to confirm if you are who you say you are. So you have to hold the frame. You can't want something and brush it aside, be scared of it, or you can't be weird and uncomfortable with it when it does show up, because you can't be, how do I want to say this, like, when you are tuning your frequency, new experiences will come your way that you're not comfortable with, but it is what you want. It is what you wanted. You tuned to that frequency. You want to change and get a new reality, so you have to be open and walking around with the willingness and openness that it will come. Like, you have to be open to ways to how you're going to receive it is what you want. Everything you want is not going to come exactly how you envisioned it. So you have to be comfortable with the way that God and the universe is going to bring it to you, and don't feel too uncomfortable when it does show up and brush it aside like, no, that's not how I envisioned it. That must not be for me. You have to be open to new experiences. Because you're transcending the new. You're transcending the old, moving into the new. So you got to be ready and have fun with it. Hold the frame of the person you want to be, and the world will mold around you. If you're moving with this type of emotion and your type of mental state, and you know all this is happening for you, the world is going to move out of your way and form around you when you're moving in that direction and with that mentality. Your mental reality. Your personality is your personal reality. Your personality is your personal reality. That makes sense. So personality is the emotions you're walking around with. So you want to change that, get into that good emotion by visualizing, getting into that frequency. If it takes 15 minutes, just make sure you're doing it to get to a desired emotion and not to get something. Hold that frame. Don't go looking out for different signs and believe what you want can only come from how you actually envisioned it, okay? So, let God and the universe take care of it. That's half the fun. So, just to recap, when you visualize, do it in the morning and do it in the night when you are at the most ease. Put on some music, if that helps you. Do it for 15 minutes, set a timer, and do it until you literally feel your emotional state change. Do this continuously, and as you continue to do this, you won't even have to be looking for these signs. They will just, you will notice your days are different. When I get into these emotional states, I walk around almost with a eager anticipation of what's going to happen in the day. And if you're retaining as well, this is going to amplify your manifestations for sure, because you're walking around with even more energy, and your mental power has more potency to it. So conserve that sexual energy as well. That's your vital life force. That is going to help you so much as well. So I hope this was able to help you guys out in the visualization process. And if this resonated with any of you guys, hit the notification bell, subscribe, like, comment, any questions you guys have, and continue to rock with me. I appreciate you guys, the player ones. Appreciate you guys all. I love hearing you guys' story each day. Making sure I'm bringing more stories for you guys and more solutions to any problems or anything that comes up that people tell me about that they need help with, and I will continue to do that. So it's your boy Salem. Till next time, I'm out.